So it's Sunday evening, and Silicon Valley Bank, the US Treasury says bank won't receive a bailout after collapse. Very interesting kind of headline to put out there on a Sunday evening. It's going to give a lot of confidence to people who have deposits in banks. When you hear that the bank may not be able to pay out on deposits. We saw this play out in 2008 when there was similar moves. Oh, let's let them fail. Let's not step in. And obviously that didn't work out very well. And we see this playing out now in 2023. 15 years later, and the discussions are going on in the midst of a very fraught economic status where we have high inflation, high interest rates, and a bank which lends to the tech industry going bust. It will be an interesting Monday. They are saying, oh, let's try and stop a banking crisis, but generally speaking, when the banking world is all connected, the dominoes will start falling tomorrow. And this will be a very, very interesting time when people are going to have confidence in a banking system. So you might be asking, why is a Catholic blogger talking about money? It's a minor thing. People don't really need money, do we? It's a secondary thing. But it tends to, once you start removing the faith that people have in a banking system, things can go down very, very, very quickly. We saw this in 2008 when, we had tens of thousands of people unemployed, governments struggling to adjust with the new economic reality, falling inflation. And unlike in 2008, we have the West, Europe, NATO, EU, USA pumping $160 billion into Ukraine. 160, it seems like an open checkbook has been given to Ukraine. And we've seen after that 150,000 Ukrainians dead in this war, and similar amount dead on the Russian side. And we don't see any letdown, any talks, any push for peace. And in the midst of this, we see a banking collapse. People will be shaken tomorrow. Bank shares are going to drop tomorrow. As soon as the markets open, you're going to see a rush to sell off bank shares. Unless the Federal Reserve steps in to secure this bank, to give funding. And if they do, it's going to be a very, very interesting time. How they will manage this, how they will square it out. But then again, guys, America has the largest, they have the largest loan book in the world. They could just print some more money. At the end of the day, quantitative easing, it just works. People will get over this little blip in the financial system. Minor thing. Silicon Valley Bank, minor thing. None of the other banks are exposed. Remember, nobody's exposed. Banks are not connected. They're not exposed. Let's see how this plays out. A few people losing a couple of billion isn't going to be, 50 billion being wiped off bank shares last Friday, not going to be a problem. People are going to wake up on Monday and think, oh, all these shares that I have in banks, they'd be fine. Or maybe it's time to sell off before they go even lower. And we saw Irish bank shares being brought to practically pennies. That was a good time to buy. But now is definitely going to be the time to sell. It's very interesting to see what is going on at this moment in time in the world. All of the different movers, all of the different pieces in this chess game being set. We see the apostasy of the German church, the schism in reality, the German church. When bishops who should know the faith, saying, look, let's have transgender priests, let's have women priests, let's give communion to divorced and remarried, let's give communion, let's give blessings to same-sex couples. Basically anything that has come in the door of the German church, the bishops have just stepped back. Let's give in. Let's give in to the world. Whatever the world is throwing at us, we'll do it. It's time to go with the spirit of the age. I can't believe what's going on. Well, I can believe it, but I didn't think it would happen so fast. So we've seen all of these things happening extremely fast. We see the war escalating in Ukraine. There's no doubt about it. This is escalating. And it's going to escalate even further as we come into spring. Is Russia just going to sit back and give in? Does anyone think Russia is going to sit back and let this war? Well, look, we're pulling back. Remember who's backing Russia. We have China backing Russia. We had the military drills of China, South Africa, and Russia a couple of weeks ago. Minor news story, people seemingly haven't catched. In China, tiny little country, no big deal there. Has a few nuclear weapons. Happens to have one of the largest populations in the world. If we were to introduce the same sanctions against China as we have against Russia, we would collapse the world's economy. And people don't seem to think or look 2 or 3 steps ahead of what's going on. China is about to supply weapons to Russia. What will the West do? What will NATO do? What will America do? China has strangled the US out of the South China Sea. It has invested in Africa. It has invested God knows where. I mean, do people realize what is happening? America seems to be bankrolling a war. Is this in their best interest to keep this war going with Russia? I don't know. But it's very interesting what will happen tomorrow when the banks open tomorrow. You would think after 15 years of bank failures, regulators in America might be taking a little look at what's happening. But I suppose people forget, what are the knock-on effects when you hike interest rates so fast? Well, the knock-on effect when you hike interest rates so fast is people can't repay those loans. And when you're dealing with high costs in business, which many people seem to be dealing with at the moment, high costs, high wage costs after coming out of COVID, we're going to see a lot of businesses failing. It's going to see a lot of small businesses failing. We've seen practically all of the tech industries cutting jobs over the last year. Meta, Twitter. I mean, I can't believe the valuation put on Twitter. I can't believe for what it has become. Basically at the moment, it's a company with 1,000 employees valued at $40 billion. That's incredible. I mean, can you imagine the amount of wealth being created by each Twitter employee at the moment? A $40 billion company, really? Really? I mean, sooner or later, the people are going to realize the emperor has no clothes on. The emperor has, I mean, where is the value added in that company? How is Elon Musk going to get his money back from Twitter? Is he going to refloat it? It'll be interesting to see. Meta is losing subscribers. Meta, Facebook is losing subscribers like it's never done before. I mean, the new generation, the teens and the 20s, they're not rushing to go onto Facebook. That's for old people. There was this meme going around before. So look, we're all seeing what's happening in this world at this moment in time, and things are going to move very, very, very quickly. Bank collapses, they tend to, bank crises and recessions, as we remember 2008, it was, let's see what happened, but then it kind of went down. And you lose, people are going to lose confidence in the financial system very, very, very quickly. There's going to be a massive sell-off in bank shares tomorrow. So if you have shares in banks tomorrow, you're going to see this worldwide, because all of these banks are connected. They've all leveraged, securities, insurance, so forth. So interesting times, and we'll see how the markets open tomorrow when we see the news that the US Treasury won't receive US Treasury says bank won't receive bailout after collapse. So if they're not going to bail this bank out I mean, how secure are the other banks in America? And you're going to see a lot of press releases. Oh, we're all fine. We're all fine. Our assets can cover any liabilities. Really? You think so? You think so? What happens when businesses now can't repay loans? You know, what happens when consumer confidence starts to go down? People stop spending. It's already happening. We're seeing it here in Europe, and you'll see it over in America. So, you know, pray for this moment in time. We can't say we're not warned, but I do find it very, very interesting to see this, financial news coming out. Minor thing, money. Yeah, it's fine. We don't need lots of money, do we? Money, what could go wrong with banks going bust? What could go wrong? God bless you. And yeah, keep awake. God bless you. Take care. Bye bye.